मैं एक और महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर आप सभी का ध्यान केंद्रित करना चाहता हूं। आज विश्व मान रहा है कि क्लाइमेट चेंज में लाइफस्टाइल की एक बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। मैं आज आपके सामने एक वन वर्ड मूवमेंट का प्रस्ताव रखता हूं। वन वर्ड एक शब्द क्लाइमेट के संदर्भ में वन वर्ल्ड एक विश्व का मूल आधार बन सकता है, अधिष्ठान बन सकता है। ये एक शब्द है लाइफ, LIFE, यानी लाइफ स्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट। आज जरूरत है कि हम सभी लोग एक साथ आकर कलेक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन के साथ लाइफ स्टाइल फॉर एनवायरमेंट यानी लाइफ को एक अभियान की तरह आगे बढ़ाएं।
India is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change impact. We're experiencing a warmer climate, erratic rainfalls, floods, droughts, increasing sea levels, decreasing glaciers. We are witnessing it all. But today on World Environment Day, let's try and understand the role education plays in creating environmentally conscious children so that they can understand the impact of climate change as well as tackle it. So Ravi, we are in the beautiful hills of Uttarakhand. 9 years of working together on the NDTV Dettol Banega Swasth India campaign. We've come a long way, from environment, hygiene, health. I think we've had a great journey together. And Lakshya Sampurna Swasthika, season 9. What are your thoughts of this beautiful journey we've had together?
First of all, Ambika, thank you so much for asking me this question, and thank you NDTV for being a partner to us, in the last great journey of 9 years. We have accomplished a lot of milestones together.
Yeah.
One of the milestones being, forging the partners and the partnerships with 100 plus organizations, taking the agenda of the India's growth and India's growth narrative for the healthcare and on hygiene to almost to all the aspirational districts across India.
Absolutely.
The third biggest thing which we take is leaving no one behind.
Yeah.
We have practically worked with most of the tribes, most of the indigenous populations. And we have been advocating on the right-based approach of healthcare.
Yeah.
And also highlighting the strength of our government, especially the work what the government has been doing during the COVID and how 2 times, whole population of a big country like India got vaccinated by the efforts of the government along with the civil society and the other organizations.
Absolutely.
Fourth big thing is how India is helping the globe on various aspects. Maybe like the elimination of the disease like smallpox, working and reversing and halting disease like HIV, or how we are doing the promotion of hand washing among millions of school kids across India, and also dividing our work over the period of time. We are moving also towards addressing the issues of climate change and making the schools more climate resilient.
In fact, I was coming to that. Ravi, you spoke about climate change. Today on Environment Day, we are here, right, in Uttarakhand, I think, which is also a state which is very vulnerable when it comes to climate change impact. Tell us, Dettol has always had a vision, whether we talk about the curriculums, whether we talk about the work which has been done on the climate resilience, but India's first climate resilience school. What really was the thought and the vision behind this?
Very interestingly, Ambika, if we go into the mission life, which was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister of India on, on the climate and other things, we looked into that, and that whole mission talks about India's leadership position at the community levels, at the school levels, at the individual levels, at the national levels, to show to the world like how we can take the individual actions.
Yeah.
And very much it takes me back to one of the seasons of Dettol Banega Swasth India, where we talked about Mere 10 Gaj or My 10 Yards.
Yeah.
And this mission life, we the big vision behind this is basically to create a cohort of Char Dhams in India from Uttarakhand, where we are preparing the schools from this cohort, and these schools are the torch bearers for the mission life in India, in their own communities, across the various states, and also the whole work what we do together also gets to the COP28 this year, where we take the kids from the cohort of the 4 Dhams, where they can talk about how they came up with the whole concept of mission life, how they made it happen, and what are the big plans. We want it all to be the kids-focused, kids-centric, so that they take their individual actions, and which will change India and Bharat both.
So well put, Ravi. Thank you so much for that. So Ravi, quite a trek we've had from that lovely bridge. Now we're walking towards the school, and beautifully they've done it. Like if you see, I mean, I was having a look in the morning how they've, the school, the way they've put up the things, the solar panels. Of course, we'll go across in and see it. But Ravi, I have a question here for you. Tell me, what role do you think these climate resilient schools will have in shaping a more sustainable future and a more resilient future for our generations?
Thank you, Ambika, for asking this question. Like all this work which is done in the schools, it will help us to democratize the discussions on climate change at the sub-local level, at the regional level.
Yeah.
And as I told you in our earlier conversation, we are trying to make a cohort of Char Dham schools. We're all working towards the climate and the climate change. And, the local stories will influence others who are there in the communities. And, step by step, it's a network effect where the communities will come together. They all will be knowing, they all will be listening, they all will be part of this big ambition. And they all will be the big drivers of the mission life.
Yeah.
Because ultimately kids go home, they educate their parents also.
The nudge which they...
Yes. So kids will be nudging their peers. Kids will be also nudging their families, their communities, looking into this will be a nationwide thing which will happen in the times to come.
So Ravi, like you rightly said, the children are a future, behavior nudges, taking back what they learn. And we've seen that impact with your hygiene curriculum. So many families we've met, what role the children have played. So let's go inside the school and actually see what changes have been done. Let's speak with Sharon, who can, I think, help us understand that how the school has been made more resilient.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Ambika.
Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Sharon.
Sharon, tell us, how has the school been made resilient? What changes have you all made, if I could say, like on ground, so that it is more resilient?
So, Ambika, the school embraces sustainable practices in its daily operation. So, there are these environmental principles that are, being embraced by the school. The 5 thrust areas like energy, water, waste, biodiversity and air. So, if I tell you about, for example, energy. So, what we have that the school is fitted with energy efficient LED lights and fans, and the solar panel actually will help meet the energy requirement of the school. And we also have a battery backup system which will help secure that much of energy, which will help the school to meet its requirement during the power cuts as well.
Okay, so energy for sure.
Yes, energy for sure. And then in terms of water, we have these low flow water fixtures. So this will actually reduce the consumption of water. And we also have a water meter, by the way, which will actually help the children to monitor the consumption. And they would actually, see the readings and plan ahead. Okay, how do we reduce the consumption or, avoid wastage as much as possible. So,
some basic things, I think, Ravi, which makes them more conscious and make the right choices, I think. And if we start early, it can definitely make an impact.
Yes, very much.
Let's go and have a look at the school. now that we've understood the concept of the CRI schools, let me introduce our panel who we have with us. Thank you all so much for joining us. We have with us Mr. Abhishek Ruhela, the District Magistrate Uttarkashi. We have Ravi Bhatnagar, Director External Affairs and Partnership South Asia Recade. We have Mr. Parmendra Saklani, District Education Officer, Uttarkashi. And we have Sudhir Kumar Unyal, Principal of the Government Higher Secondary School, Athali. आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद join करने के लिए. Mr. Ruhela, my first question to you, I think to start, when we're talking about World Environment Day and we need for our children to know, Uttarakhand is specifically vulnerable to climate change, maybe because of its geographical location. Also, when we talk about earthquakes, it's in the more prone area. Why do you think it's important to talk about climate resilience specifically in Uttarakhand?
As you have rightly said, Uttarakhand is a Himalayan state.
Ji.
It is ecologically a very sensitive state, and as far as we see the past events, we have seen some climate related disasters and catastrophes wherein we have incurred significant losses also. And considering the fact that it is a water tower for the country, so whatever happens in Uttarakhand, it has impact on the other parts of our country also. So considering these factors, it is very important that we develop some mechanism and means in the state so that we become climate resilient.
Ji. And like you rightly said, when it's not just water, in fact, Uttarakhand is one of the fastest growing states in the country. तो आप क्या suggest करते हैं कि how can we develop climate resilience and adaptation in the state? आपके क्या suggestions होंगे?
Climate resilience की बात करें तो इसके कई factors हैं. जैसे हम बात करें energy efficiency.
जी.
So it's very important that we adopt some means where we require less energy, our carbon footprint is reduced, and similarly water management is also very critical to the state because there are a lot of villages in Uttarakhand which are slowly facing water crisis. And similarly solid waste management is one major sector which with the growing tourism is becoming really a major challenge for the state. So these are a few of the things, and as far as government policies and projects are concerned,
yes.
So state of Uttarakhand is really very sensitive about it, and we do plan our actions in a way that we try to achieve sustainable development goals.
Ravi, like Mr. Ruhela just said, how not only Uttarakhand, we see climate change is affecting human lives in every way, and specifically health. Can you elaborate how it's connected? Health and climate change, we know it's connected. We've seen that. हमने COVID के दौरान भी देखा है. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Thank you, Ambika, for asking this question. Nowadays we talk about the concept of One Health,
Ji.
where everything is interlinked to each other. It was COVID, it was SARS, it was MERS, it was Ebola, it was Nympha virus, and many other pandemics which have happened in the last 2 decades. We are seeing day by day, there are more intersections which are coming between the disease, the agents, the host, and the environment. So it's important, like our Honorable Prime Minister says, every 6th person in the world is an Indian. When Indians progress, world also progress. When the India reforms, world also reforms. I'm very sure the voice will go very loud and far by the help of NDTV. And, we will be having the climate champion kids, which will be coming from these Char Dhams. And I'm sure this year when the COP happens, we will be having the representation from India, from these 4 districts or from these 4 dhams. And, these are baby steps. They have to start. We're doing it as the first school here where we are sitting. So what a lovely day today, Ambika. And, the best part is we have the Gram Pradhan, we have the kids from the communities, we have the kids from the schools. And the whole overall ambience itself, it's all mesmerizing.
Absolutely, a auspicious day for something so good to do, I think. Mr. Saklani, अगर आप हमें बता सकते हैं, एजुकेशन हमें पता है, जो शिक्षा है एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग टूल है हर चीज़ में चेंज लाने का, और बच्चों को जितना जल्दी हम सिखाएं, आपके हिसाब से कितना ज़रूरी है हम बच्चों को सही समय पे सेंसिटाइज करें, उन्हें समझाएं, खासकर क्लाइमेट को लेके, हमारे इन्वायरमेंट को लेके?
अभी जो हमारी नई शिक्षा नीति आई है
जी,
NEP में जलवायु परिवर्तन पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस किया गया है। सभी जानते हैं कि स्कूल इज ए मिनी सोसाइटी। इसके द्वारा जो हम बच्चों को जो हम जागरूक करेंगे तो निश्चित तौर से पूरा समाज जो है जागरूक होता है। मैं थैंक्स करूँगा डिटोल बनेगा स्वस्थ इंडिया और प्लान इंडिया का कि हमारा जो विद्यालय है पहला इसको वो किया गया है, अडॉप्ट किया गया है
जी।
और इससे पूरा एक मैसेज हम समाज में दे पाएंगे।
नहीं, बहुत अच्छा थॉट है। और मिस्टर उनियाल, अगर मैं आपसे ये सवाल पूछूं क्योंकि आपके बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे और 1st to 10th है और बहुत ही सुंदर लोकेशन, अगर हम देखें, अगर हम बात करें कि बहुत सेंसिटिव जोन है, जैसे कि मिस्टर रहेला ने भी कहा, आप किस तरह अपने स्कूल के बच्चों को सेंसिटाइज करते हैं? आप उन्हें किस तरह की सीख देते हैं कि वो क्लाइमेट और एनवायरनमेंट के साथ उनका लगाव रहे और उसे प्रिजर्व करें?
ये हमारा जो विद्यालय है एक तो देवभूमि के और मेन उत्तरकाशी में है, तो हमारा एक जिम्मेदारी हो जाती है हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर सर का, वो है हमें कि सतत विकास होना चाहिए। ये नदी का क्षेत्र है हमारा और नदी के बिल्कुल लगा हमारा विद्यालय, तो हम वहाँ से सारे साथ मिलके उसकी सफाई करवाते हैं। तो इसमें हम जो है ये भटनागर जी का बड़ा वो देते हैं, ये प्लान इंटरनेशनल जो है जो हमारे विद्यालय को लिया।
नहीं, बहुत बढ़िया, कांग्रेचुलेशन।
हमारे डीएम सर भी बहुत वो करते हैं, सपोर्ट करते हैं।
हाँ,
और इसी बेस पे यदि हमारा पहला विद्यालय चुना गया तो इसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ प्लान इंटरनेशनल को। और हम पूरे जद्दोजहद से इस पर्यावरण को बचाने के लिए पूरे तरीके से वो लगे हैं।
Since we're talking about climate resilient schools, I think the designing aspect is very important. Let's go across to Mr. Piyush Verma, Associate Director, Environmental Design Solutions. Mr. Piyush, why don't you tell us the role environmental design solutions has played in building of these climate resilient schools?
Environmental design solutions' role has been to shape long-term climate resilient strategies for these schools. We have looked at energy, water and waste as key aspects as first steps towards these climate resilient schools. With respect to energy, we have envisaged renewable energy sources and energy efficient equipment. What it does is it reduces your energy demand while also making you energy independent. With water, we have looked at just reducing the water use through water fixtures that consume very less water. And for waste, we are looking at nearly 100% food waste reduction through composting.
What do you feel? How much does this project align with your state's mission or project of combating climate change?
As a state, if we see, we have a state action plan for climate change, which is aligned with national priorities.
Yes.
तो उसी को देखते हुए ये भी एक बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट इनिशिएटिव है जो आज स्कूल में हमने ये क्लाइमेट रेजिलिएंट स्कूल्स बनाने का सोचा है, क्योंकि स्टेट का एक कंटिन्यूस फोकस है हमारा कि जैसे जो हमारा जो जितना एनर्जी जनरेशन है इट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन रिन्यूएबल सोर्सेज लाइक हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, सोलर एनर्जी एक्सेट्रा। इसी तरह जो ऐसे स्कूल्स में जो इवेंट्स होते हैं या बच्चों को सिखाया जाता है हाउ टू बी इकोलॉजिकली रिस्पॉन्सिबल, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज इट गोज़ अ लॉन्ग वे, क्योंकि आज जो बच्चे सीखेंगे कल इन्हीं के माध्यम से सोसाइटी भी सीखती है। और जो स्कूल में जितनी भी इस तरह की एक्टिविटीज़ हैं और क्लाइमेट रेजिलियंस के बारे में जो कुछ सिखाया जाता है, जो अवेयरनेस आती है, उसको students are very important factor in disseminating those values and knowledge to the society at large.
I think what you rightly said, it's a great start and it's important कि किस तरह सारे जो stakeholders है एक मिलजुल कर काम करें, चाहे वो corporates हो, चाहे ground पे जो NGO हो, social sector हो, and most importantly, I think even the government, I think everybody needs to work together. Before we wrap, just a last question, Ravi, from you on Mission Life. The Prime Minister had launched it in 2021, had introduced it, the lifestyle for the environment, the movement. What roles can these climate resilient schools play for the India-led global movement of Mission Life?
India should be an exporter of the climate champions to the world, and those champions should be the kids. What a better place than Uttarakhand to choose it from and to start it from. The preamble of the Mission Life should be done by the kids, for the kids and to the kids. Right now we have the aspects which are clearly mentioned. With NDTV, Banega, Swasth India and the government of Uttarakhand, we would like to convert the preamble into the songs. And I believe the culturally adaptive behavior change communication is something which is the key to success. At the first time, we are introducing the climate resilient pencils, the climate resilient pens, the xylem free ink board markers, the dust free chalks, the upcycled bags for the kids, and upcycled notebooks, upcycled covers for the notebooks, and many other things what we are bringing to this school. So when kids will have this experience at Delhi in their lives, and when the pencils will be over and the pens will be over, you just need to plant it in the soil. It already had seeds, so the seeds will flourish, sir.
It's a beautiful
So these are the small things because, thank you so much. So from distance we talk about the solar, the water and all these macro things. So we thought like the behavioral nudges are very important.
Yeah.
And if we really want to motivate the kids and the teachers and the principals, it's important like the kids carry something which is what they really like and they will be proud of.
Yeah.
They should be proud of these things.
Thank you, Ravi, for pointing those out, because you may say they're small things, but definitely these small things are new beginnings which makes a huge impact. Before we wrap, closing remarks from you, and Mr. Rola, if you could tell us कि mission life का जो ये अगर हम बात specifically कर रहे हैं, आप उसको मन में रखते हुए आपका क्या vision है? Life for the environment.
जो भी mission life है, I would say it is a very simple idea, but with a very enormous and huge impact. क्योंकि बहुत छोटे से हमारे लाइफस्टाइल चेंजेस हैं जिनसे हम बड़ा इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. एज सिंपल एज सेविंग एनर्जी, एज सिंपल एज यूजिंग थिंग्स विच आर इकोलॉजिकली सेफ. जैसे अभी रवि जी ने कहा कि स्टेशनरी एक ऐसी चीज़ है जिसको आप हम सब हमेशा यूज़ करते हैं, कितने सालों से यूज़ करते आए हैं, बट हाउ मच वेस्ट वी हैव जनरेटेड, क्योंकि वो सभी चीज़ें ऐसी थी जिनको हम वापस यूज़ नहीं कर सके. वी यूज्ड एंड डिस्कार्डेड इट. तो इसी तरह से these small initiatives can create very big impact because all of us, all the people in the world are using it. तो थोड़ा भी अगर बदलाव आएगा तो बहुत मेजर चेंज आएगा.
I think that's put really well. Thank you so much. आप आए. Thank you so much. आप सबका बहुत धन्यवाद. It was a pleasure to have you all.